Hi, my name's Jo and welcome to my YouTube channel. Did you know that over 90% of succulent deaths are caused by overwatering? So I'm here today to help you stop killing your succulents and get them from this to this. Watering your succulents correctly is really important for a happy and healthy plant. As you can see, this beautiful variegated Beyonce is not looking so beautiful right now. It's very, very thirsty. And just isn't showing its true potential and true happiness. So yeah, we'll fix that in today's video. So the way I decide whether a succulent needs water is by the leaves. The leaves will become very squishy if they are lacking water. So I try and squeeze mine sideways just to make sure you're not removing any of the coating on the leaves. And I would check the outside ones, but also a few of the inside ones. This one is quite squishy. The very middle, not so much. So that's how I tell if the succulent needs water. If the leaves are very squishy, it needs a good drink. And to compare with one that I will not be watering is this one. So the leaves are really, really firm. So they are full of water and do not need any further watering currently. When succulent leaves become thirsty and dry, for example, on this plant, it doesn't necessarily mean that they need watering. They use the energy from the very bottom leaves to create new roots, to create pups. So I wouldn't take that as a sign that you need to water your succulent. This one is getting a little bit thirsty, but I would wait. Basically, my rule is, if in doubt, just delay your water because it's so easy to overwater a succulent. This is Echeveria basil. As you can see, he is extremely thirsty. So this one definitely needs water. It probably hasn't had water in well over a month. This is Echeveria hera, and this is quite thirsty, as you can tell by the outside leaves here, and even the middle leaves are quite squishy as well. So this one also needs some water, but isn't quite as desperate as the first one. And as a comparison, this one is Echeveria lilacina, and the outside leaves are getting quite squishy, but these ones are still really firm. So I would definitely postpone any watering on this one. Also to note, as you can see, the soil is extremely dry. There's no water in there whatsoever, but I wouldn't use that as the only indicator of when to water a succulent. I would look at that and also the leaves. The next question is quite obvious, is how do I water my succulents? So I would always suggest bottom watering. So if you have quite a few succulents, it might be good to keep them on a tray that you can water. But this will ensure that water doesn't sit on the leaves, which can cause rot. It makes sure that there's not too much water sitting around the stem, which will cause stem rot, and it will promote some really healthy growth from the roots, because the roots will have to reach down to get the water. So I would always recommend watering from the bottom. So let's give this poor succulent a really good drink. I would leave the succulent sitting in the water until the dampness has started to show at the top. So this could take some time. It's quite a slow method, but it's just better to prevent any rotting. The other method you can use for watering is the soak and dry method. So what this is literally soak the soil completely, drench it, and then let it dry out completely between watering. But what I would note is that you must check the leaves as well of the succulent. It might be that the soil is completely dry, but the leaves are still quite firm. So in that case, I would wait before watering again. If you keep your collection outside and it's not possible to water from the bottom, or you use the method of a hose to drench and dry, you can use these little tools to get rid of any water sitting on top. So you've got this, you could use it as a puffer, the little puffer, or the strong version, which I use for mine. And that definitely gets rid of any water sitting on the leaves. You just need to make sure any water sitting on top of the plant has been removed, as if it sits there for quite a long time, it can rot the plant really quickly. Something I use when I water my succulents, not every time, probably every third time, is this. It's really good at plumping them up quickly, and it's just a really good feed for them. So just a little update, I watered the plants yesterday afternoon. It's now the next morning, and this is Hera, and already you can see the difference, how much it's plumped out. The leaves aren't as squishy, especially in the middle, they're quite firm already, so it's really taking a lot of water and storing that back in the leaves. And the same with Beyonce. It looks like a completely different plant. Still quite squidgy, it's got a lot more to take in, but it looks so much better already. Basil is still very thirsty, but obviously he was really dehydrated, so this will just take a little bit longer. You can see the difference within the middle of the plant. They are definitely plumping up nicely. It's just the outside ones will take a little bit longer. So it's now another day later, and this is the update. Look at Beyonce. Looks so beautiful, and the leaves are now still a bit squishy there, but this one's really firm. So is this one. So is this one. So yeah, it looks so much better, doesn't it? And this is the update on Hera. So even the outside leaves are really firm. And the one which was the most thirsty is Basil, and that looks quite different already. So a little bit of softness in that leaf, but that one's really firm, and these inside ones are completely different. And just a final update of what the succulents look like now. So that's how I water my collection. I would just add that it depends on the succulent variety really to how often they're going to need water. I've obviously mentioned the leaves already, but just to give you an example, this red sea monster here has got really thin leaves, so it doesn't hold a lot of the water for very long. So this one will require water more often than something like this, which has a thicker leaf. So this is an Alba Beauty, and as you can see, the leaves are a lot thicker and will retain water for a bit longer. So there is a little difference with regards to the structure of the leaves to how often the plant will need water. Watering times will also vary depending on the pot size and the soil that you keep your succulent in. I use quite a gritty, well-draining mix for mine, so I find that it dries out a lot quicker than anything which would be in just pure compost. Also the pot size. I try and have my succulents so they fit in a pot, and the pot is quite small, whereas if this was to be in quite a lot of bigger pot, there'd be a lot more moisture in there to dry out, and that can lead to rotting. So that's why I try and choose the right pot according to the size of the succulent. That's very important in succulent care. And lastly, where you live is a massive factor on when you need to water your plants. So I'm based in the UK, that's why I have a greenhouse, because I can't keep them outside all year round, unfortunately. I would love to. But yeah, from probably October till March, April time, I don't water them at all. They go dormant because it becomes quite cold here. And that's when they stop growing. They go dormant for the winter period, so they don't need any water. Obviously, if you're in a hotter climate country and you get quite nice weather all year round, then watering will continue all year round. So it just depends on where you're based as well. So I hope the video has helped you with some tips and different methods that I've used. If you use it for your collection, please let me know how you get on. Let me know if you have any other methods that you use which work really well. Yeah, I'd love to know. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.